Great tricks on how to get our chords clear. One thing I would like to show today is getting from a G chord to a C chord and vice versa. So basically, it's very tough to get these chords cleared if you're a beginner. If you already know this stuff and you've got them clear, awesome. But this is more for somebody who's trying to get their chords going. You can see that my finger 2 is like hanging right over top of the guitar neck. And my finger 1 is almost touching string 6, so we clear the bottom string below that, which is string 4. Because we always count from the bottom up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So a great exercise to get from a G chord to a C chord. One thing for sure is to make sure this guy's hanging over the top a bit more, and finger 1 is touching string 6, so you can actually let it touch the string, because the sound for this string is only going to travel to there. And the string below 5, where your finger 1 is on, you should check it, string 4, and make sure it rings. Now the bottom 2, I let the pinky just hang down the bottom a bit, so that I get enough room for finger 3. Finger 3 should be behind your pinky and can touch the bottom string a bit so that it doesn't touch string 3. And your pinky can hang down a bit on the bottom of the guitar as well. That's a hard one to show you, but it's just don't have the pinky up so high on the string so it's almost touching string 2. Put it down more on the bottom of the neck, and then put finger 3 beside that on string 2. Now some tricks to change from G to C. These are all things I teach my students in-house, and I thought I'd bring it to everybody else's attention that is trying to learn guitar and just starting out. I try to get a G to C change by asking my students, let's forget about these for a minute, and let's just look at fingers 1 and 2. Now if we're going to C, we could see that fingers 1 and 2 have to get on string 2 fret 1, while 2 gets on string 4. Making sure that we can get them to move freely back and forth like this is a great trick. Now again, for a C chord, you could have finger 2 almost touching string 5, but not quite, but very close. And same with finger 1 almost touching string 3, but not touching it. So you clear the strings below is the idea. Now what we get is we could work this a little bit just for muscle memory, and you do things slow and teach them how to land. And once you get that going, you could even practice strumming. This is actually an A minor 7 chord. So you could start off with a G and just strumming, and let your pick land on the bottom string so you teach your pick how to work nicely down the strings, strumming with a nice even strum, coming down and landing on string 1. Otherwise, if we pick that string and no fingers on it, it's actually a G6. So we could get that going. And when you start slow, first you want to get these guys to learn to move and land properly. So remember the tricks I taught you in the beginning where they should be sitting. And then you can start a little count really slow and do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get this 1, 2, letting your pick land on string 1, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So you don't want to leave until you say and 2. So you let the whole chord ring through its whole timeline. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. While my students are doing that, 4, I try to make sure that they know where these fingers are. Don't have them way up here. Try to teach them to be close to their notes. We don't have to put them on yet, but we can try to get the muscle memory working. 4, and 1. That one I'm strumming from the 5th string down. 2. And you could strum them all. 3 for that chord. 4. Make sure 3's up and close by its note. And back to G. 2. 3. 4. And 1. See how finger 3 I can keep it there and ready? I just move it out of the way so you guys can see what's happening. And look at how close my finger 2 is to string 5. It's almost touching it. And finger 1's almost touching 3. But we can't touch them. But the closer we are to them, the better off we won't hit the strings below these 2 fingers. The other thing you want to do is then try to just maybe get finger 3, once you get good at that, to land with your C chord now. 3, 4, and 1. Now you want to be thinking about these 2 landing first at that point. So if we're here on G, so the first one was just to get these guys moving. Now let's think we're on the full G chord and we have these 2 fingers. Let's try to strum in 4, and I like to use 2 fingers on the bottom 2 strings just because it really helps to anchor your hand to move around and do different things. So basically we could try and get finger 3 now to come the 5. And you could touch string 6 if you're not going to strum it, or be very close to the top string. And then back down. Because our pick's going to strum here first, so we don't want to come this way with the chord. Right? We want to try to think more, okay, finger 3 is going to come to the top. Bam, drop them in. The more that you get this, you can see finger 1 and 2 are pulling, while finger 3 is pushing up. So some great tricks for G to the full C chord. Now the first one was good for getting these 2. This one I'm going to do where we get finger 3 to come up and 2 to go to string 4, and we'll leave finger 1 out. Making sure that these fingers are very close to the strings above them, so we clear the ones below. So you can see again, finger 3 is almost touching 6, while 2 is almost touching 5. And then we'll strum from this way, going in 4s, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. And you can strum them all from the 5th string down for this chord. 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Thinking ahead, and 1. Notice I use a 3-finger G. Let's get back to this one. Sorry about that. So we're back here. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Now while you're making, so you could do that without even strumming. Just try to make them land. And the other cool thing to know is that you want finger 1 to come close to string 2 so that eventually we can drop them all in together. And you can see finger 3 is almost touching 6, finger 2 is almost touching 5, and finger 1's almost touching 3. And look at finger 3's leaning. It's not perfectly straight. Leaning a bit, so these guys can all lean a bit. All right, so that would be the tips and the tricks of the day for getting a cool, clear sounding G and C chord. Looks like that, coming back, looks like that. And look at finger 3, he's kind of leaning, so it helps these guys to lean a bit. All right, I hope that helps you guys get through G's to C's and keeping them clear. Not an easy change. Takes a little bit of time. Look at finger 2 hanging over the top, and 1's almost, it is touching 6. And these 2 on the bottom are hanging down a bit. So there's a trick of the day to get G's to C's. All right, I hope that helps everybody. See you again next time. Bye for now.